Hello and welcome back. We're back. It is that time of the night where we have to talk about Senzo Meyiwa's case that is currently taking place in Pretoria. As we know, we always discuss that. And just before we start, thank you very much for the generous donation for those who have donated. I don't know if I can quickly check on them who did that donation. Thank you though. It is important that you guys keep on doing what you're doing, and we appreciate it.
Yes, we appreciate it so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. It makes a huge difference. It has an impact.
Yes, it is Dineo who did giving, and
thank you, Dineo.
Looking for someone else. There's someone else also who did, but thank you guys. Generally, thank you for helping us. It is Vivian also who
thank
did.
You, Vivian.
Thank you, Vivian. So this is also for you guys, because you are doing that to make sure that we keep the lights. As you do that, we must also be loyal in delivering what we need to deliver. Emily, it's that time.
Yeah, it's that time. Guys, I'm gonna go through this proceedings, although I'd say my highlight was Advocate Mngomezulu, or Attorney Mngomezulu's cross-examination. It was very interesting. With the advocate or Attorney Ramosepele, or Mr. Ramosepele, I feel like he was getting blocked a lot by the judge to explore on main very important valid points, and I think he hasn't figured out a way to navigate that. It's still a challenge for him to have the judge interject and then disrupt, but he fought a good fight today. I mean, at some point he was even telling the judge that he likes to give the witnesses clues to answers, and I was like, okay, we're going somewhere. We're going somewhere.
We are definitely going somewhere.
Although he kept apologizing sometimes when he was like, I'm sorry, I'm not like this, or no, just do your job. You're representing Bongani Ntanzi here, and it's quite clear that whoever is the enemy of Bongani Ntanzi in this case is very serious about nailing him.
Yes.
They're not here to play. So stop apologizing. Do your job. Represent your client. And do what you have to do.
Yes. There's no need for you to apologize. We can see. All of us can see what is happening right now when you are at that court. And more so when it comes to you and Shalom, we can see what is happening. I mean, everyone who's got eyes, who's not a robot, bot or something, they can see. Only a few cannot see. So you just need to, I think you need to be strong on those objections, fighting them, because those objections is what Baloyi uses. If you listen to them, they don't have grounds.
Yes.
And then the judge just help there and there. The judge is just there to help, and the most difficult person to deal with is the judge.
Yes.
When the judge starts objecting, yeah, obvious, that's when you need to be strong, as we saw with Mngomezulu, doing it so nicely, relaxed. Just take a page or two from what Mngomezulu does. And also Mnisi is also capable of having that thick skin. Yes. So is Mshololo, even though all the time it's a fight, but we can see what is happening, guys. I mean, we the society, everyone, you go to Twitter, everyone can see what is happening. It's only the blind, the few, you can even count 10.
And you can even count them with one hand.
So don't worry about I don't know what you think the LPC is gonna come for you. Don't worry about that.
No, it would be embarrassing for the LPC to do such.
No, it would just be embarrassing. So just need to grow a bit of a thick skin.
It's a job that you have
Comes
been
with your
hired
job.
to do,
Yes, it comes with your job.
So, Advocate Mnisi said that he was representing Advocate Mshololo in her absentia. So,
Okay.
Advocate Mshololo was not in court today. And then Thulani Mngomezulu continued with his cross-examination of host this morning.
Oh, now I see. Many people were saying that Ramosepele's cross-examination was long and boring. There were things that were important and crucial in Ramosepele's cross-examination. Very crucial, if you ask me.
Okay.
He was just blocked. So also you can see that there was a bit of time wasting. I saw that, in my own opinion, and now I did not notice Msholo was not there. So once you say that, then it was actually keeping host in a stand for Msholo.
You think so?
Yes, Msholo is a crucial person. Can you imagine if they cross-examine very fast? He's a crucial person in this one. With regards to that number that they keep on pinging to accused number 5. So we're gonna need to hear a super ending of the cross-examination, and I don't think Mnisi alone would have done justice if you consider the fact that Mnisi also has to deal with some of the things that pertains accused number 3. So it was just there for the judge to say, okay, I know. The judge, though, the behavior of a judge, now that you've mentioned that, and I did not notice Mshololo was not there. He's always hiding that side. So the judge was in a hurry to finish, to such an extent that he wanted to deny that 15 minutes break, comfort break.
Yes.
You don't you find that odd? That Msholo is not there.
It was strange.
And you want to push. I know Mngomezulu had at some point a touch on the nerves of that judge. Who also, I mean, if you get in a ring when two people are fighting, you're bound to get the punches. Accept that. I mean, you shouldn't be crying about it. You get in between two people who are fighting, you will get punches, because we cannot differentiate who's fighting, who's not fighting.
Okay.
So the anger was used to sort of fast forward so that you avoid Mshololo from cross-examining. Remember, if they finish today, then it will be closed for Mshololo. Then Malo start re-examining, and it's done.
So what was going to happen, because Mshololo did not come to court today? So it was going to be another episode of theatrics thrown against her, making her look bad.
Yeah.
Wara, wara, wara.
Yes. That is what was going to happen.
Okay. So Mngomezulu reminded host that yesterday he ended the course of the cross-examination on his the device that was last recorded at Vosloorus at 17:04 on the 26th of October 2014 until the next morning on the 27th of October 2014. So this cell phone is that of accused number 3, Mthobisi Ncube, the section 205 that they got from 2014-2015. It was able to pull those phone records. That's the one that Mngomezulu was referring to. And he said that this cell phone, if it was not in Vosloorus on that day, Senzo Meyiwa was killed, and the cell phone was associated with or registered with the name of accused number 3, who else do you think might have been in possession of that phone besides accused number 3? Baloyi objected, saying that host is being asked to speculate. He's being asked to speculate before this court, and in any case, that is not something that falls within his knowledge. He said that he thinks that this is an unfair question. So Baloyi said that that question is unfair to the witness.
Which question was that? Sorry.
The question regarding the fact that the cell phone And the records do not say that accused number 2 was in Vosloorus at the time of the incident. Accused number 3, was at the incident at the time of the incident when Senzo was killed. They remember the towers were saying Johannesburg Towers. They were not saying Vosloorus.
Yes, now it became a handset issue. Now it's a phone that is there. Now look at the hypocrites here. Later you will find Ramosepele asking about that and using the same theory.
And they are telling him
And they
no,
tell him
but
no,
you admitted.
but you admitted. This is why Balo yesterday was fighting for a Queenswood record to be there.
The tower.
He was willing to leave everything. And someone said he told you guys that this judge is no good according to them. On the comments, obviously it's alleged. So I never thought for a minute that the judge was on the defense side when he was asking Baloyi, where you going with that question. Never thought for a minute. In fact, today I got more clarity in my own opinion that it was mainly to eliminate the other part, in my opinion. The other part that seems not to favor the state.
Okay.
And then it was when Baloyi came with that Queenswood. No, my lord, I just want to put the Queenswood one. And eventually, after the break, he did put the Queenswood one.
Yes, he did.
It was to say, this judge, what was left from Ramosepele on that lashing out is that, in your view, my lord, it seems as if you have taken that position that accused number 1, accused number 2 was there, Queenswood. As we have admitted that it's not a secret, it's common cause that accused number 2 was there, and now the phone was pinging there. So we might as well say accused number 2 had the phone. What worries me, yesterday there was a long debate when Ramosepele said, "I want these records to be put the way they are, so that we can deal with them who had the phone."
Yes, he did.
And that's where we slept. When we wake up, now it becomes the truth that accused number, according to the judge, in my opinion, it is now the truth that accused number 2 was there in that prison, therefore automatically he had the phone. We are overlooking the fact that the phone was being switched off and on. We are overlooking the fact that these guys were coming there anytime. We're overlooking the fact that they could have left the phone there for their own reason, because it seems as if they had more freedom in that Valeria police station. You understand?
Yes.
They're overlooking that. Now the assumption that the judge seems to be holding is that because the phone was there, therefore, and the accused was there, therefore the accused had the phone all the time, whether you like it or not. That is the position that we wake up today on. That is the position that made Ramosepele angry.
Yeah.
It is crazy how this judge, I don't know, you go back home, don't you even watch TV and reflect?
He does. Maybe doesn't care. He
I
has
mean,
a thick skin.
How do you feel waking up, seeing the news? Oh, well, some of these news, most of them, they seem to be liking you. But how do you feel?
I don't think he cares.
This judge, you can go as far as saying that, in my opinion, is changing the record.
Yes, he is.
And he's been doing that. We've been calling it. Happy today that Ramosepele, that was a highlight for me from Ramosepele's cross-examination.
Putting it on the record finally, because when the appeal or the time for appealing comes, such things are gonna be important.
I'm so happy because someone has finally said it.
It was not helping them. It hasn't helped either way, keeping quiet about it and acting like that's not what he's doing. He is changing the record.
He confirms with it. Isn't it what you're saying? Isn't it? And then he says,
And then he goes on to believe that fallacy that he has created. And then it becomes a fact in that court.
Yes.
He's done it before.
When
Multiple
have we accepted
times.
that accused number 2 had a phone? Nowhere in the record.
In the record,
it was in fact
accepted.
the thing that was needed for this. Hence, Ramosepele's line of questioning was such that let us establish where this phone was. Because what I'm happy that eventually he find a way of sneaking it in as later on. That was later on after the objection and the agreement between my lawyer and the judge. Later on, he sneaked it in.
Yes. Yes, that was brilliant.
That was brilliant. I was worried that he's going to leave it like that. I think after an advice from other advocates, then he decided to take a different routine that is going to help him pin this thing.
And drive it home. Well, Mngomezulu said that I asked this question with the full knowledge that this cell phone was registered in accused number or in the name of accused number 3. Then Mngomezulu asked to rephrase the question. He said, let me take you back to your examination in chief. You confirmed this number belongs to accused number 3, and Gouws said yes. And according to your evidence, you said this cell phone number or this cell phone communicated with accused number 5. And when you are talking about accused number 3, you're talking about Mr. Mngube. Do you agree? And Gouws said, that's correct. And Mngomezulu said, do you know him here in this court? Do you see him here, accused number 3? And Gouws said that it must be the one in the middle. He doesn't know. It must be the one in the middle. I don't know. And Mngomezulu said, and accused number 5 is the last one on the dock. So we talk about the people that we can see, correct? And Gouws said that's correct. And it is your evidence saying that accused number 5 and number 3, when you were taken through evidence in chief by my colleague, you mentioned only 3 transactions that happened on the 26th of October 2014. And you are the analyst of this data. What made you do that? Because I believe when you went through all the transactions in the 205, Gouws asked if they were looking for the number ending with 1689 belonging to accused number 3. And Mngomezulu said that Gouws only talked about the communication between accused number 3 and number 5 in October 2014. Gouws said that there was only one call between accused number 3 and accused number 5. And on the 26th of October 2014, the rest were on different dates. And Mngomezulu asked him, my question is, when you were given this document, you had to go through all of it. And Gouws said that's correct. Mngomezulu said your evidence mainly was led between the communication between accused number 3 and accused number 5. And Gouws said that he was asked by Brigadier Gininda if there was any communication between the number ending with 8169 and other accused before this court. And the number that he picked up was that of accused number 5. What I'm getting here is that Brigadier Gininda gave him the numbers. Then he went wherever he went to establish whatever connections that he claims to have found. So the numbers came with Brigadier Gininda, and Gouws did not care to establish whether the numbers belonged to the people that they say they belong to.
No, he did not.
No, none of that was done by Gouws. He just took the number.
Worry, I don't mind that. The argument is valid if you ask me, if we were to be fair with Gouws in saying that I analyze. If you give me data, I analyze.
But how do you analyze without knowing who the numbers belong to?
No. In this sense, I fully agree with Gouws that you just analyze. Someone comes and say, hey, Emily, please check for me the communications here. You check.
So you don't care who the number belongs to?
In fact...
Because he came with confidence in his affidavit to say it's accused number 5. It would make sense if he was just saying the numbers of the number so-and-so connected with the number so-and-so. Not to say that it's accused whatever. Accused number.
Now, this is why I'm saying I don't have a problem with that. I can never have a problem with what we initially said, which is accuse this guy analyzing. The problem I have is when he puts that as a matter of fact. This is where the problem is, as you are raising it. You are putting it as a matter of fact.
Like you know for sure.
Now you saying accused number 4.
You got the record documents, you got the ID number, you matched,
yes,
you are certain that this is accused number 5.
That is where I have a problem. The problem is when you're putting your assertion as if you know what you're talking about. In a sense, you've done your own digging, you've gone through RICA and. You understand? Hence, even Ramosepele mentions it, that you see the problem is that you are putting it as a matter of fact that accused number 2 was there and with the phone. That's where the problem is. Because if you are going to use Brigadier Kinindi as your hiding point, then you should come there as a person who just analyzed. That's it. Don't come there as if now you are part of the investigation team, you know what is happening, and by putting the names and all that, now that becomes the problem. If you say this number did 1, 2, 3, then saying accused number 2 did 1, 2, 3 with this number, totally different story. Now that says you have done the RICA part, you have done everything, section 205, and there's nothing missing.
Yes.
But when we are questioned, now you go back to your hole, you start hiding, hey, this number came with beginning. In fact, all the numbers are in question, they are attributed to Kinindi. This is where the problem is.
Yes.
All the numbers in question, they are attributed to Kinindi.
Yes, and Mngomezulu said that my point is the number ending with 1869 appeared on the first page of the data that you were analyzing. Do you know the reasons why the records of with the numbers ending with 8169 were not placed on record in your examination in chief, starting from page 10 and ending with page 13? Baloyi stood to object, saying that he does not think that this is something that the witness can answer. There were problems with the sound, you guys, coming from the SABC, and there was a bit there, glitching there that was happening. So who did the analysis now is a question that I pose. Was it Advocate Baloyi or was it Gouws? Because Gouws is the one who's supposed to be answering these questions, and you are stopping him from answering the questions. And you are saying it's not; these questions are not right for him. If you listen
to some of these objections, you can actually draw a certain conclusion that the cooking might have happened because they know the questions that could pose danger.
Yes,
that's where the objections have no grounds.
Yeah.
But you're just stopping something
for the sake of
stopping.
It was very strange, and I'm like, but this person claims to have analyzed this data. So why is it such a problem when they have to answer on the data that they have analyzed? Why are you coming in now and saying that they can't answer that? Why are you choosing what the expert data analyst can answer and cannot answer based off of the data that they came with to testify on in the court that they claim to have analyzed?
That's when you
unless if you were there assisting with them analyzing.
That's when you are worried about certain things being put into this court. You are worried that they might cause you problem.
And it's very strange. I can't get used to it. So Mngomezulu argued that when they were dealing with Dupree's, the state deliberately omitted the incident that happened in Engine Garage. Do you guys remember that? That they actually did. They did. And this evidence that was taken from yesterday, the state realized that it was an own goal in their case. Zulu bati. So translate, Mr. Anonymous. Translate.
Do we need to translate that?
You.
What would I say? You shot yourself on the foot. Yeah, something like
loosely
that.
translated to English means that, yes, you shot yourself in the foot. So he was implying that the state shot themselves in the foot by doing this. And Baloyi said that he does not know what the basis of Mngomezulu's submission is. Firstly, he said he's representing accused number 1, and he's striking along the lines by cross-examining on behalf of the accused. And if he can maybe stick to his lane, that would assist.
Crazy objection. Unheard of.
So, why does Advocate Baloyi want to tell other lawyers how to cross-examine?
It is crazy.
Because even Advocate Mshololo, part of her getting worked up on that day was now she's cross-examining, and Gouws has somehow been advised to put new information in the midst of her cross-examination. And she was upset by that why is the state interfering with my cross-examination? All of this extra information that he wants to present, he can do it in the re-examination.
Yes.
Why are you now compromising my cross-examination? You want a moment, a couple of minutes to introduce new evidence.
Which was crazy, if you ask me.
And then here's the very same person who did that or allowed the witness to do that. Now here they are, and they are doing something really weird again. Telling another legal counsel how they should run their cross-examination. They must stick to their lane. What do you mean, stick to their lane? But then Mngomezulu was prepared for this. And he said that as the concern of the defense, we have agreed with Mr. Mnisi the reason why I have to deal with this evidence. Secondly, the 5 accused are charged with common purpose to commit an offense. Anything that is said, my colleague forgets that there are only 2 confessions here, and the confession for accused number 1 and 2. Anything that in that confession touches accused number 3, 4, and 5, I have a fiduciary duty to cross-examine this witness based on that. So the judge reminded Mr. Mngomezulu that he talked about the section 219 that says that the evidence that is adduced by a confession is not applicable to the other accused. He said that he is right and is allowed to do that, but if he does that, then it's a reflection on his client, and asked Mngomezulu if he's aware of that. Well, Mngomezulu said that he is aware of that. Then he went on to clarify that this witness relates to the communication between the 5 accused, and that it emanates from the contents of the confession in relation to the contents of the communication. There is evidence that Kelly Khumalo communicated with accused number 3, and that's the purpose of getting to number 3 for the confession that has been made by accused number 1 and 2. And that's the reason it deals with communication. So Mngomezulu said, so I want to prove to this witness that there was no communication between accused number 3. And anticipating of the said confession, that's the relevance it deals with, communication. So Gouws said that he can't comment on that. And Mngomezulu now gave 2 different numbers that are said to belong to Kelly Khumalo. One ends with 4358 and the other one ends with 8298. And he also had an affidavit from Kelly Khumalo to say that those are the numbers that she was using on the day Senzo was killed. And he said, I'm putting it to you, to Gouws, that there was no communication between Kelly Khumalo and accused number 3, specifically on the 26th of October 2014. The state alleged that based on the confession, Kelly Khumalo communicated with accused number 3. So Gouws was still going through his records there. There was a moment of silence there. He was looking, I don't know what he was looking for, but he was looking for something. And Mngomezulu asked the judge to stand down the question to give host time to go through the section 205s. But then the judge said that the evidence given was that Kelly had about 5 or 6 numbers.
Here we go, not even introducing, creating something which they can stand on.
Blocking this.
It's not even a
Blocking
block
this
because
aspect.
it becomes the truth of the matter. We spent so much time discussing that. Isn't it, Baloi? You know, doing exactly what Ramosepele is accusing him of.
Yes.
Looking for Baloi to respond. Yes. And it happened.
He does respond.
I have a problem with this court because when it comes to that, there's section 205 that was done for those 2 numbers of Kelly.
Yes.
The other so-called 6 extra, right? There is no section 205 there.
For the 6 numbers.
But Damon or Hakelezi got into
as if it's a fact.
I want these numbers, you know, as if there is something supporting those numbers.
That indeed they belong to Kelly Khumalo.
Do you understand?
There's only 2 that support the numbers. Out of the 8, 2 have section 205s.
And let me tell you, they come from what? They come from docket 375, right?
Yes.
This is funny. This is funny.
They date all the way back to 2014.
Yeah, it is funny that they actually have 375 dockets have created a lot of mess when it comes to this case. Immediately when they are introduced, yes, hell breaks. You know, you see people fighting for it not to be there, and you look at this so-called 636
636, yes.
It's a waste of time.
It is.
It's a waste of time.
It's a definite waste of time. We are not going anywhere, very slowly.
Because what 375 is saying in a nutshell, look within the house. Look within the house.
Start there.
Here are Kelly's numbers. Here is section 205. There was no communication coming from outside.
Yes.
Now, which supports the theory of saying, look within the house.
But they don't want to do that, don't
No, they don't. They don't. They want to come back door, and say, yeah, there were people who were hired.
We're told Longo is going to testify, but I don't think he's coming.
We said it. We called it.
I don't think
we called it. We don't think he's coming. Or he might be coming. Maybe he's the one that's going to come tomorrow. He might surprise you.
I don't see it happening.
Now, this case is no longer about
Senzo. People in the
Senzo.
house are far away from testing. They are not going to be tested.
This case is no longer about Senzo.
No.
This case is about, if you ask me, this case is about now Baloi defending the decision he took.
Yes.
In my own opinion.
Yes.
That is why now we are reading the section 205 of 2018, of 2020.
Investigators abandon their work and new ones are introduced. 2023 host is when he did an analysis. One has to wonder what is the reason of host starting afresh and not taking what Stein had already done and continuing.
This is the problem.
He has to start from scratch, and then when it's convenient enough and he can't answer a question, he goes back to put the blame on an investigating officer who initially did the job, Stein, who's currently retired.
And then when he's cornered, he says, no, these numbers actually came with Brigadier and the rest of his team.
So it's all a mess when it comes to hosts. It's just...
We are in a situation where we are defending our own decisions, in my own opinion. This is a matter of just defending the decision you took.
Yes.
Why you did not take 375, that answer is there in that court.
It's in how you have conducted this entire trial.
It is worrying.
It's leaving a very, very dark mark.
Exactly.
It's not looking good for the prosecutor and the prosecution. That side, it's just not looking good at all. And one would say, oh, but we have tried. I personally have tried to see. Maybe they had a case. Maybe there was something. There's nothing. There's nothing that so
the
far.
whole of NPA now needs to answer this question.
They need to. Because
after reading these two dockets.
It's been 2 years now.
After reading these two dockets, because it can be that you are saying a junior was responsible for 375.
Mm-hmm.
Then the seniors.
They chose
seniors,
636.
or the so-called seniors, they do investigation on 636. But eventually, we are at the doorstep of 375, which says there was no one who came inside the house. That's, in fact, if you look at the dispute of 636, it's basically saying that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which begs the question, why didn't you start within the house and expand outside?
Well, Advocate Baloyi stood to tell the court that Kelly Khumalo had 8 cell phone numbers. So Mngomezulu said that it had been stated in the affidavit of Brigadier Gininda that Kelly Khumalo had 4 cell phone numbers. But what is of importance is the logic and the reasons to have the Section 205. Mngomezulu asked to establish from the witness because the judge was busy. Hey, he was busy. He was busy, Shem. Hey, yeah.
He was, you see the judge, but continue, Emil. I'll talk about this when it's there.
Well, then Mngomezulu asked Gouws, when you were approached by Brigadier Gininda, you said somewhere in September last year, 7 months ago, when he asked you to do the analysis on the basis that Mr. Steyn is on retirement, did he tell you that there were Section 205s that were taken from the people that were in the house where since Senzo was killed, and did he tell you that? And Gouws said when he started with the case, he did not do the cell phone and the 205. He said, I was downloading of the 2 cell phones of accused 2 and 5. Later, during the course of the trial, it was requested for the Section 205s to be produced that we have given to the council. And then I started on the Section 205s of the accused. So what he's saying here is that, remember initially when he came to testify, it seemed like he was adding on to Steyn's evidence. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
He wanted to testify on, he was told that he needed to connect accused number 2 and 5, right? And he did that. He testified. He even got cross-examined on it. And then Jiggy, he comes back and takes Steyn's evidence, starts over, and in an attempt to cancel perhaps Steyn's evidence, I don't understand what was happening, but now we are here. So what Gouws is literally saying is that he got the instruction to do that in the midst of him testifying and being cross-examined.
Mm-hmm.
Then he
Not the explanation that was given by Baloyi saying that Gouws was being questioned. Hence Gouws had to go and do more digging. Remember the new evidence was introduced on the basis of Gouws' anger, if you ask me.
During cross-examination, because he couldn't answer some questions.
Now Gouws is saying was requested to do more. That's the contradiction on its own.
Well, he said that's why the statement came in late. I don't know anything about about a Section 205 of the people that were in the house. I have no record of it. Well, the interesting thing here is that with Stein's evidence, Kelly Khumalo's Section 205 was included. But with yours, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like you are rewriting Stein's evidence.
Yes.
Baloi said that Ms. Khumalo had 8 cell phones. And notice how he says 8 cell phones and not 8 cell phone numbers. Did you guys pick that up?
No, I did.
So the judge said that Mngomezulu's questions must correlate with the 8 cell phones.
Where are they? Where's your MEI, MIA? What is it now? That number, MEI?
Yes, EMI numbers.
Where are they?
Where are the serial numbers? Where's the Section 205s for the rest of the 6 other phones that you've decided to give to Kelly Khumalo?
What is crazy about this is not even information or not to me coming in drips and drops. No. This is information that came in bulk, being narrowed now. It is now being narrowed. We are minimizing the damage, in my opinion. Because ignoring Kelly's Section 205, which previously Stein included it.
Yes.
It's very disturbing. What are you hiding now all of a sudden? Did you lie about those numbers that Stein was talking about? Was there lies there? Did you just take any random numbers? Like now we are feeling, there's that feeling that the number that you say it belongs to Nduli, it actually belongs to the brother, the brother of accused number one. Did you lie about that? Did you just take any number and fitted it? Because these numbers, you come with them, whether written on paper or where, and you say, please do investigation to this number.
You don't need to verify anything.
If
this is how cell phone experts work in normal court, besides this one, other court cases that we consider normal, we are in trouble.
You see, the problem is that Mngomezulu has already mentioned that Kelly is going to must come and testify. Must be subpoenaed.
Yes.
He must explain. He had 8 cell phones. You know, it's funny what is going to happen when Kelly comes. It's very funny because I'm looking at it. I'm trying to picture which position should Kelly take, if there are any position that they should take. The position of saying, there was a call between me and accused number 5, which then puts you in jail because you are saying, you were called by the people who are alleged to have shot cells. Or you say, no, I actually have 2 cell phone numbers, and those are the ones that are in Section 205.
Which also somehow places her in trouble.
By saying that then everything happened inside. What are you not telling us? It's a very difficult situation. And I don't know whether they thought it through, or at the time when this so-called cooking was started, it was to exclude her. And then later on, something happened. They said, throw this one under the bus now. What happened? Because there was no thinking or logic of how these things should happen.
In my opinion, if you ask me, they should have left Gouws alone.
They should have.
But we are glad they did not, because now we are seeing the loopholes. But had they been serious, they would have left Stein's evidence as it was.
There is no time for thinking, Emil. It's gone. You eat as you go. And you are bound to make mistakes. You are bound to spill your coffee.
Now the mistakes are happening rapidly. Like they are scary even to see them in real time.
I mean, if you look at how now Baloi can be absent from the court, it tells you the pressure that is there.
I saw him.
People need time, in my own opinion.
His body language. I saw the clips are on Twitter, guys. He's stressed.
People need time. People need time to come up with something, in my own opinion. That's how it looks like.
Well, then Mngomezulu said that he differs with the court. The judge said with the court, as if he's shocked that somebody differs with the court.
The court is there. The court is in the ring. The court is fighting, is throwing punches. Yes, with the court.
The court is throwing punches.
The court is
it's
throwing
in
punches.
the ring.
It's throw back. But dealing with the court properly. That's not a mistake.
The court is inside the ring.
You know why he was surprised? Because he wanted Mngomezulu to say the witness. No, the court.
The court, because the court is testifying now.
Yes. It's not a mistake.
Well, Mngomezulu said that he differs with what the court is saying, to say that he must correlate with 8 cell phones. And the judge said, no, but look, it's common sense. If I have 8 cell phones, and Mngomezulu was like, Section 205 does not require common sense. And the judge asked him, what does it require? And Mngomezulu said it requires scrutiny on what was registered on the database.
In a sense, saying that these other numbers are manufactured. And I see Mami saying that Mngomezulu is not saying that, is saying Kelly is innocent. No, Mngomezulu never said that. Mngomezulu is simply stating the facts about those 2 numbers. There was no communication with accused number 3 on those numbers.
Yes.
Unlike what Steyn said. He's not saying Kelly is not guilty of anything, no, or Kelly is guilty. No. He's just dealing with the evidence that is in front of him, which says that there is no strategy in trying to make Kelly, if he refuses to come voluntarily, when they ask him, you'll be subpoenaed. There's no hiding. Yeah. We know what subpoenaing does. Then.
Yes.
It's simple as that. Our former president was subpoenaed and then later was almost taken to, in fact, was taken to jail without any trial.
Yes, he was in fact.
So that's it.
You honor a subpoena, otherwise you go inside. You badla.
So there is no strategy that Mngomezulu needs to employ to actually bring Kelly there. The fact
it's
that
done.
the state...
He's subpoenaed, the state can do the rest. They know what to do.
Exactly.
So Mngomezulu said that we'll keep on speculating about the numbers of cell phones. And the judge snapped his fingers, asking Baloyi, is it speculation that Kelly Khumalo had 6 or whatever cell phones? And Baloyi said that according to the evidence in the affidavit of Steyn, Baloyi went to Colonel Steyn's affidavit and the judge asked him to count them. And then Baloyi said that she had 8 cell phone numbers after counting.
You know what is funny? I started thinking during that process of counting, it was 9 numbers. Actually.
But then he said 8.
It was 9 numbers. Let me show you how we, in my opinion, we arrived to 9.
Okay, how?
In that house, there was Tumi. This is, in my opinion, 375. There was Tumi.
Right.
That is number 1, section 205. There was Togo. That is number 2. There was Zandi. That is number 3. There was Kelly. That is number 4. There was Kelly's mom. That is number 5. There was Longwe. That is number 7. And then there were 2 numbers of Kelly. That is 9.
2 numbers of Kelly. That's
9. So yes. So look at this.
And Senzo was also counted.
And Senzo was also counted. That is 10.
No,
now,
it's not 10. It's 9.
It's 9.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but Kelly's number comes twice.
Yeah, Kelly's number does come twice.
So look at how funny this thing is. What will happen in your own thinking if I was to take Tumelo's number and make it be accused number 1's number?
What?
I'm just thinking, what would happen? Didn't Kelly call Tumelo when he was putting the money for
the money
Tumelo?
for transport?
For transport?
Yes.
What will happen if I take Senzo's number and take that section 205, make it be of accused number 5? There are a lot of theories that you can put into this. Those numbers of others who were in the house, they are offside. No one's talking about them. Even the Kelly's number, it came just now.
Yes.
So those numbers, they were talking to each other. Some of them.
Okay.
So in my thinking, when they were counting those numbers, that's why Mngomezulu is saying speculation.
And it is speculation because there's no proof that those numbers belong to Kelly.
Yes.
Only 2 are proven, not
and
6.
there's an affidavit that
so
Kelly
it remains
did.
a speculation.
What worries me is that the judge ignores that affidavit. He wants to talk about Stein's affidavit. There is an affidavit of Kelly.
Yes.
Specifying only 2 numbers.
Yes.
The judge wants to say, okay, this one of Stein supersedes that one of Kelly, the owner of the number.
Well, Mngomezulu moved on and said that the letter was written by Captain Mtetwa for the Section 205. She listed the number of the people in the house, and in that letter, 2 numbers were given from Kelly Khumalo, and they also appear in that letter. So there were only 2 cell phones that Captain Mtetwa mentioned of the cell phones of people that were in the house, and he mentioned all the people that were in the house, including Senzo's number. That's how it came to 9. And host confirmed that the numbers are 9. He counted them. So Mngomezulu continued to ask if the extract on the document, he went to the extract of the Section 205s for the numbers that are said to belong to Kelly Khumalo, and host was looking at the documents from the Section 205s of both phones that belong to Kelly Khumalo, but Ho said that he does not have the full Section 205s on him and he can't do a full analysis on an extraction. Mngomezulu told Hose that the purpose
was never to analyze.
Was not to analyze those
documents.
Simply
laying a question.
It was to confirm the contents of what was in that covering letter of Captain Mtetwa.
Simple as that.
Which is the numbers that he's just confirmed. That
after
are
the
9.
Judge interjecting.
After the judge gave
then
Kelly 5
is
phones.
like, oh, no, I'm not supposed to answer this question. In my own opinion.
He didn't even give Kelly phone numbers. He gave her phones. 8 phones. So then he asked for the documents back from Hose, and Mngomezulu said that the reason why he was asking that question is that Brigadier Kininda didn't tell him that there was a 205 done in 2014 regarding the people that were in the house. The relevance of this is based on the communication of accused number 3 and Kelly Khumalo. Mngomezulu referred Hose back to his initial questions of the number of accused number 3 ending with 8169, which is a number that we deliberated on a lot from yesterday. So Mngomezulu to Hose said that if you were taken on cross-examination yesterday, this information would not have been before this honorable court. Do you agree? So he was asking Hose that you nitpicked the information. You chose what favors the state that you spoke on. You didn't share everything. You didn't disclose everything. And because you didn't say anything about it, the information would not be on the record of the court. Do you understand?
Exactly the same way the people who were in the houses information of cell phones is actually not there.
Exactly.
When the state realize that the direction which they have taken, I see people are asking why they are not calling Kelly.
She will be called.
When the state, in my own opinion, realize that this direction we have taken is actually putting Kelly under the... I doubt even Zande knew that Kelly was going to be called a mastermind. I fully doubt. That's why I'm saying the case changed along the way, and that decision maybe they were not part of. in my own opinion. Allegedly.
Mm.
So after the testifying, then they realize if we bring Kelly here, Kelly's gonna denounce and deny these people.
Mm.
And if it denies them under our own cross-examination, then
Matata.
it's more trouble. Then they announce we're not going to call Miss Kelly. You remember that?
Yes. Yes, we were all perplexed. Now we have an answer as to why Kelly Khumalo was not called by the state.
I'm not smoking my socks there, right? Yeah.
No, you're not.
So from there, everything changed.
Yep. They realized that she has the potential of coming onto the witness box and saying, I don't know these people. I've never had any communication with these people.
Do you understand?
I think I'm born.
I'm sure wherever she's surprised that Heaven and these people, not only are they capable of
connecting me to people I have never met in her opinion or in our opinion.
Yeah.
And it's like, if they are capable of this,
it was more? All nice. It could have been all nice.
Yeah, it could have been all nice at the beginning. I agree.
But eventually, I don't know, something changed.
Yeah, something took a turn somewhere, somehow.
And someone needed to smell a bit of blood. Not the whole of it, just a bit of it.
And
that's why things went left.
Now it's like they don't know where they stand with Kelly. They definitely know where they stand with Twala, but they don't know where they stand with Kelly. I don't know if you guys understand what we're trying to say. It's almost like Kelly's a smoking gun, unpredictable, specifically to the state.
He can just shoot and pass. That's where the problem is, in my own opinion. Because of what has happened along the way. Mobute bendlela.
Well, then Mngomezulu said that Baloyi was not listening to him. But then he repeated the question. And he said, if I did not ask you about the transactions that were on those pages, this might not have been knowledge of this court placed on record by you. And Baloyi said that they have presented that evidence. It's on record. How can Mr. Mngomezulu say that we had not asked? He said that we are aware of those calls. That's why they put them before the court. It cannot be asked that this witness, if they hadn't been cross-examined on that, then the evidence would not be before this court. And they've placed it before court. He was very, very emotional. One thing about Advocate Malo, he doesn't like to be called a liar.
Yeah.
It's like it hurts.
Yeah.
He needs to jump and react because he doesn't like being called such.
For this profession, obviously, it's not a good thing to be called a liar.
But then why lie if you don't want to be called a liar?
Allegedly.
Why do you do it?
Allegedly.
Alleged. Well, then Mngomezulu said that it's not true. He said that he asked Gouws if he had not dealt with the 3 transactions on the 26th. Then he said that he needed to consult his notes. It's not true. It's the same as lying. Is it not? They just put it in a respectful manner. But it means the same thing. Then he said that he needed to consult his notes, and Gouws confirmed the 3 transactions that Mngomezulu was talking about. And Mngomezulu said that, you see, Mr. Gouws, I listen and then I write notes. I found that very funny. Reason is because, did you see Mngomezulu writing notes, guys? I don't know.
He's got a brain of an elephant. That's what.
Yeah, I don't know.
What Malu said.
I don't know. I didn't see the writing of the notes part. I did see the phone. I saw the phone. Maybe he writes them on the phone. But as for writing notes, I it's like very dizzy there. I was like,
It looks like he's in his own.
He's in his own world, right? And a lot of people are like, Mngomezulu is not paying attention. People are complaining on the chat yesterday. They're like, Mngomezulu, it looks like he's not. But now look, the most impactful cross-examination ever.
His lip like Moses. Hey, here are the questions you should ask.
Hey!
When he wakes up, he tells the table, people, face.
Then it's like, yeah. I even had the judge in the background did the noises that he was making. I was like, yeah? I'm like, what is going on? Did you hear them, Mr. Naniman? It's like,
It's not. He doesn't believe. I know, my lord. When he was refusing the break, like, no. I have more questions. Don't worry about that. He wants a question. And then later he's like, we need a break. He's no longer asking now. He's like, no, we need a break.
No, we need a break.
It's due to us. It's important to take that break.
Ooh, wait. Hi guys, the things that are happening in that court. And then Ho said 100%. And then he understood. Mngomezulu said, now I just want us to get into the purpose of your evidence in this court as a data analyst. What do you seek to achieve when you present this evidence in court as an expert? And Ho said, I was asked to see if there was any communication between accused number 3 and any of the other suspects. That was not the scope of my analysis. It's not something that I made up. It was requested by the investigating officer. And one of the defense counsels put it to you that accused number 3 and number 5 knew each other before the incident of the 26th of October. And Ho said 100%. And Mngomezulu asked, is it your evidence that the number ending with 0137, which is said to belong to accused number 1, cannot be linked with the one ending with 8169 belonging to accused number 3? And Ho said that the section 205 he has is for the period of the 23rd of October 2014 to the 25th of January 2015, and he can't say for other periods. So Mngomezulu said, I'll just put it as a fact to be proven that accused number 1 and 3 did not know each other on the day Senzo Meyiwa was killed. Neither was there communication between them. And Ho said, noted. He can't comment on it. Mngomezulu said, if this purpose of giving this evidence is demonstrated by you from the request of Mr. Brigadier Kininda, I'm putting it to you that accused number 1 and 3 were not in Vosloorus on the day Senzo was killed.
The judge was so excited about that.
Ho said that he can't comment on that, but Mngomezulu asked to approach Advocate Nisi, and Nisi rise to say that he was concerned over the assertion that was made by Mngomezulu when he said that he put it as a matter of fact.
I heard it was not entirely correct. Why? Because yesterday Mngomezulu, when they were going through the towers,
there was Vosloorus
earlier.
Yes.
But so the question that
around the time of the incident,
the question that Mngomezulu was asking was based on that. Around the time of the incident, but it didn't come as that, and the judge was so adamant that what you wanna talk about, what is it? Oh, it's between me and Mngomezulu. That's what Ines would say. No, that your client was not at Vosloorus. That your client was not. We've heard that. Hey, I was excited. You know why? Because
Why?
he's not happy that Mngomezulu is asking questions that are crucial, in my own opinion. He's not happy that he's using that to actually complete the questions. It's like divide and conquer situation. You're on your own with your accused. You have your theory. Everyone has their theory. And then the judge will find you all guilty eventually.
Well, Mnisi requested a moment with Mngomezulu and asked that what him and Mngomezulu will be discussing was privileged. He asked for a 5-minute adjournment and the court granted it to him. And when they came back, Mngomezulu said to Veiws, or he came back with a corrected statement. He said, "Let me put it very clearly and unambiguously. Mr. Veiws, what I wanted to clarify when the allegation was that Senzo was killed between 7:30 and 8:30. Accused number 3 was not in Force Loras."
We must recommend this for not being childish. The worst that could happen is that, my lord, we object to that answer, to that question in front of this court, which then get excited.
Yes.
Because now you are against each other.
Yes.
But let me brief you outside. And then I'll come back. I will tell you what is wrong with the way you ask a question outside, not in front of this court, because this court is looking for that.
Yes, and when he came back, he said, "I will let Mr. Mngomezulu correct."
Smart move, matured move.
It was maturity, ne? I've never seen anything like it before in my life.
You imagine.
I always am used to people fighting. Even people that are supposed to be on the same team, they fight. They show the enemy that they're fighting.
An incident of that nature, I think it happened between Nesi and Ngumalo. Ngumalo addressed it. That's a difference in front of the court. That is not our submission, my lord. Now that excites the court. That's the contradictions the court is looking for. Do you understand? And then also that now makes it easier for the court to say, do not move beyond your client.
Because the last time you said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes.
And then it's used against you. And now it's said like it's a rule of the court that you're not supposed to speak for the other accused. So yeah, Mngomezulu then said that there are no records of communication between Kelly Khumalo and accused number 3. But as far as data for accused number 3, he has established or checked from Veiws whether it would be necessary to go through the 205s of Kelly Khumalo to build up on the evidence of kennel stain. Now, there seemed to be a break in transmission for a few minutes. The screen went blank. But when the stream came back, I could hear that Mr. Mngomezulu was arguing, saying that they are speculating. And the judge said, "Don't accuse me of speculation. This witness says all he can confirm is that the number of the device was at a certain location, but he can't vouch to the fact that the evidence before, which belongs to Ratha, was at that location." Then he turned to Veiws to ask if he was quoting him correctly, and Veiws said yes. Mngomezulu said that he had the opportunity to consult with the rest of the accused, and it is confirmed that accused number 3 was in possession of the device on the 26th of October 2014. And the judge said, Where?
No. Calm down, my lord. Calm down.
Yeah, the judge continued to say that this witness does not talk about the locality of a person. He talks about the locality of a device. Then he asked Veiws if he was correct. And Veiws confirmed. Otherwise, this is a Mickey Mouse court, he said. The court must not dig its own way of finding a person, is what Mngomezulu responded. Mngomezulu argued that he laid the basis by first asking about accused number 3. Then he started with his phone records from 7 o'clock in the morning on the 26th of October. The judge repeated that host never confirmed the presence of accused, but he confirmed the presence of a number. The number, not the person. Then host said the device. You see this judge, guys, he's so wrong. Like, he's so wrong. It's not even, sometimes I look at that and I'm shocked. I can't stop being shocked. It's been how many months now? I'm like, a whole judge changes evidence right before our eyes.
And luckily that Ramosepele finally, even though he did it apologizing, I apologize for this, my lord. This is not, but my lord.
Yeah, change evidence in that court. It changes
from green to red.
Right now, before this court, it changes that evidence in that court by the judge. He changes it. If it doesn't suit what he wants, it changes. And Mngomezulu said, may I request the court not to be impatient? May I request the court to be patient? And the judge said, I'm very patient. And Mngomezulu was like, no, my lord, I disagree with you. I do not want to fight in dialogue with you. And then he went over to host. He continued with his cross-examination and said to host, I put it to you as a fact that on the 26th of October 2014, at 8:08, he was in possession of that device. And host said he couldn't comment. Mngomezulu said, I will argue at a later stage that the evidence you presented before this court from 2018 to 2021 is irrelevant in this court, in the sense that there's no communication which you have placed on record through SMS or WhatsApp that constitutes or has elements of a particular offense, meaning there's no communication that you can prove to this court that these accused persons knew each other for wrong purposes, especially in relation to the death of Senzo Meyiwa, meaning that you can't prove it. He initially referred to it as an aptus rus, positive act. It's a legal term, a Latin term, I don't know.
Aptus rus.
Then guilty mind in this communication of the accused persons. He said, you testified about the cell phone of accused number 1 that was seized when he was arrested. Where did you get that? And Ho said that he got it from the database that was given by Colonel Steyn. And Mngomezulu said Sergeant Mohola testified about 2 cell phones that were seized from accused number 1. And Ho said that he couldn't comment on the fact he wasn't here when she gave her testament. So Mngomezulu said, you have to comment on that. I'm telling you now. And Ho said that the 2 numbers belong to accused number 1 that he got from Brigadier Gininda when he was asked to do the Section 205. After being asked when several times, he said that he recalls the date to be the 23rd of September 2023. So Host couldn't remember when he got this brief.
Yebo.
The affidavit was commissioned on the 29th of September 2023. He made the affidavit after he was given the data. That's what he said. And on that affidavit, Mngomezulu said that there are no other numbers that are said to belong to accused number 1. So there was another technicality that happened, and all of a sudden we saw the current statesman and his political regalia, and I was like,
hey,
we don't want to see that.
busy.
I'm sorry, but we are not on this stream to watch that. We want to watch the case.
I told you not to watch it there. I told you. SABC was out of line.
Oh, woman.
It was campaigning.
I'm like, we've got options. We can go there if we want to go there. We don't want to be on that. No. Okay, we can go there if we want to. So when it came back, Gouws was fighting. Okay, he sounded like he was high on emotions. He was shouting, saying that it won't be on this. He said that he didn't put it on here because there was no communication with this number. He said, I never said there was another number or that I don't know of another number. And I'm like, why is he so upset? What did they do to him?
You would have known if you were in the NCA.
He sounded so upset. And Mngomezulu asked if they could adjourn for tea, and the judge refused. Mngomezulu said that it was indicated to him, but he could still continue. He was not running out of questions. So the number ending with 6297, Gouws said that it was given to him by the investigating team. He had no RICA documents for it, and he could not prove that it belonged to accused number 1, in my opinion. And Mngomezulu said, I have a worry of bringing these two numbers after Sergeant Mogola has testified. According to your initial testimony, you talked about one cell phone that was recovered from accused number 1. And Gouws said, no, he never said one cell phone. The judge came to Gouws' rescue and told him where to read. And he read whatever it is that he read. And I'm like, what is happening?
Useless.
Mngomezulu said, Lungisani Ndwandwe is a cousin to accused number 1. Mngomezulu rephrases that Lungisani is actually the younger brother to accused number 1. He had to rephrase it after consulting with accused number 1 to make sure it's not his cousin, it's his younger brother. And we call him also to confirm that the number belongs to Lungisani Ndwandwe. So Lungisani seems to be the centerpiece. He's connected to literally 4 accused now.
Yeah, because accused number 1 is indeed connected to accused 5, right?
It's via today cousin. We've just found out it's via Lungisani. Lungisani is cousin to accused number 5 and also cousin to younger brother to yes. Accused number 1. They did say
accused number 1 is a cousin to accused number 5.
So now the connection is
clearer.
And also he's a nephew. Lungisani is nephew to accused number 4. And somewhat a friend to accused number 2.
Which is, I think they would be in the same age.
So Gouws said that he can't comment on that and he doesn't have the Home Affairs data before him to confirm if indeed Lungisani is the brother to accused number 1. And Mngomezulu he was like, I know you're not working for Home Affairs. The relevance of this is that you made an analysis with wrong information. Gouws said when he received the information, there was no mention that was the brother of accused number 1. And Mngomezulu said, now I'm correcting you. I'm putting it to you now that the number is being contested. You can't put it as a fact that it belongs to accused number 5. This is Lungisani's alleged number that the state alleges belongs to accused number 5. The defense says it's Lungisani's number. And Gouws said that he does not know. Mngomezulu asked for an adjournment and the judge said if you want to go, you can go in peace. You don't have to adjourn for tea. Mngomezulu said, we need to take a comfort break, my lord. And looked at him. And the judge said 15 minutes. So after that short adjournment, Ramosepele for accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi, was now up. And Ramosepele asked Gouws, did you have access to the section 205s of the people who were inside the house? And Gouws said no. Ramosepele went over how to identify the numbers of the different networks and what differentiates it from Vodacom to MTN, for example. So 06091680 for accused number 2. It said that he acknowledges that this is his number and it's shown by the 01 in the middle, that it's not an MTN number, according to Gouws, annexure, because Gouws wrote that it's an MTN number, you guys. The section 205s only come from Vodacom. in this case.
Mm.
Did you catch
I
that?
did ask that question.
They only come from Vodacom, from Pinky.
Mm. I did ask this question.
Ramosepele asked if it was a mistake that he classified the number as a MTN number, and Gouws eventually said yes after saying a whole lot of things. He eventually said yes, it is a Vodacom number. So he made a mistake. And Ramosepele said accused number 2 was attributed the number of 0725057056 linked to accused number 5. And Gouws said that it connected to the SIM card. The record shows 0609016890 communicating with the number attributed to accused number 2, not 0725057056. Even in the section 205. Gouws said that he saw it. So that was the second mistake that Ramosepele picked up.
Very quickly.
Gouws said that the number attributed to accused number 5, Olungisani, is 0609016890. And Gouws admitted that it was an error that the number 0725057056 was attributed to Lungisani. So Lungisani has been given a lot of numbers.
Mm.
He also has been given quite a number of numbers. Ramosepele labored on the aspect of Stein's handover to Gouws. Gouws said that he did not get a diary from Stein as they are not investigating officers, and he did not need to go back on the investigation. He worked with instructions he was given. He's just an analyst on the cell phone data. What about the tower, Stein? What about you restarting over Stein's testimony and making your own? Now we are here. We are more confused than when Stein was there. Stein did not leave us feeling this confused.
I just like the video.
We are more confused now.
Please like the video. Please like the video. Thank you. On my second for reminding us about the likes. Let's like the video. 767, 351 likes. That's not matching up. Please like the video.
Like the video, guys. Like this is a labor of passion. Okay. You are never going to get it anywhere else. Just like the video. Then Ramosepele said, were you informed because you need to do a holistic analysis as an analyst to get a holistic picture? Did you look at the information or call details of people inside the house? Gouws said that was not part of his scope. He got instructed what to do, and he's not the investigating officer. Okay, Gouws. Ramosepele then said, in order to have a holistic picture, did you have a look at those records? Gouws said he did not do it. It was not requested by Gininda. Sipho Ramosepele confronted Gouws also about the recovery of Bongani Ntanzi's phone. He said that Gouws mentioned that the phone was seized when he was arrested, but has now mentioned issues of February 2021. Ntanzi was arrested on the 16th of February 2020. Gouws agreed that he had the phone, or he said that the phone...
Or 16 June?
16 June,
yeah.
My apologies, 16 June 2020. Gouws agreed that he said that the phone was recovered during his arrest, but does not know when he was arrested. Ramosepele continued to say that 2 phones were seized from Ntanzi, the J5 belonging to him, and the other phone belongs to his sister. He had brought it from back home to get it fixed for his sister. Ramosepele said that accused number 2 said that since the 16th of June 2020, the phone has never been returned to him. Gouws said, okay. Ramosepele then said, what is the protocol when suspects are arrested? And he was asking this based off of Gouws' experience of being a detective before. He asked Gouws if he had been a detective before, and Gouws said yes. And now he was asking him about the procedure of arresting a suspect. He asked, when the suspect is arrested and taken to the police station, what's the protocol? And Ho said, you search him. You search him. And Ramosepele then said, what do you do with any object that is found in the suspect or with the suspect? And Ho said, you confiscate it and book it into evidence. And Ramosepele asked, what is the protocol of handling a cell phone when you get it? And Ho said, you switch it off.
Yes.
Wow. I didn't even know this. You switch it off. The police, they confiscate the phone and they're supposed to switch it off. Now we have a picture as to why it may have been discovered in the cell of accused number 2 8 months later instead of it being confiscated during his arrest. It wasn't switched off.
Yebo.
Ramosepele then said, do the cell master also search the suspects before they let him in or before they let him into the cells so that he does not come in with any contraband? And Ho said it's supposed to be that way. Well, the judge did stop Ramosepele here as well. He said that what is the point? Where are we going? Why is a host being made to testify in that aspect? Wara, 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 wara. He stopped Ramosepele here, so yeah, he let it go. Ramosepele then went to the AVL to demonstrate who had Ntanzi's phone, and he said you will see that from the 17th of June at 1801, the phone registers at the Pretoria North NGA, and it will ping until the messages stay safe at 1802. And this phone is not supposed to be pinging because it is switched off. Ho said correct, and Advocate Baloyi interjected, saying that the proposition is to put as though the phone was already confiscated. The judge said that if a transgression was done, then how would this witness know, and how does that assist this court? Ramosepele withdrew yet again. I bebe phezu kwakhe. They were dealing with Ramosepele, okay? And these points are quite important, you guys, if you ask me. They needed to be explored and hammered on. But the judge and Baloyi were not having it. So Ramosepele said accused number 2 will say, before the 26th of October, he did not know accused number 5. And Ho said, he doesn't know. Ramosepele then said, accused number 2 will tell this court that you did not find communication between him and accused number 5 because they did not know each other before then. And he asked, did you find any communication between accused number 2 and 4? And Ho said no. Ramosepele then asked, he will tell the court that this is not surprising because he did not know accused number 4 before the 26th of October. He will tell the court that he met them for the first time at the Boksburg Magistrates Court. And Gouws said he cannot comment, he doesn't know. Funny how this whole statement or this phrase that was done by Bongani Ntanzi to say, I don't know these people, is now what the state is using to have some form of a case. But did he lie though? To those who have been saying, oh, but they lied. It wasn't all of them. It was only accused number 2 who said he didn't know the rest of the accused. But then everybody ran with the statement that this is what they said. They said they didn't know each other. And that is what the prosecutor is doing today.
They're looking for that.
It's been weeks. It's been weeks of proving that they knew each other. And still, there's no proof that accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi, knew the rest of his co-accused on the 26th of October.
Yes.
Well, Ramosepele kept getting blocked by the judge. Bekuthi, magathu yaphakama kuthi ka, magathu tu yanyuka tika. And he reacted.
He had to.
The judge did it again. when Ramosepele reminded hosts that with Mr. Mngomezulu, he did not place accused number 3, but said a particular handset or device. He did not say accused number 3. Okay? When he did that, Ramosepele said the problem comes when you try to put ready-made inferences by saying that a particular person, you can say it was exactly this person adding or editing these pictures. And Baloyi stood to object, saying that it's a fact that accused number 2 was incarcerated at Valeria police station. It's also a fact that Mogani fetched him. Mogani took him wherever. Mogani transported him in his Fortuna, and the rest of the other police officers who were handed over. That's also a fact.
Yes, it is a fact.
So the judge said that it is not disputed that his client was inside the cells at Valeria. But why is the court confirming that the device was inside the cell?
Exactly, that is my problem.
It could have been anywhere. It could have been in and around the police station. It could have been inside the drawer of the reception area. It could have been at someone's office. Right?
Yes.
So why is the court confirming that it was inside accused number 2's cell when he's denying it? I don't know. The judge further argued that the facts show that accused number 2 was inside the cells at Valeria. So what are we getting at? Please. And Ramosepele said, what is good for the gander must also be good for the geese. The state cannot in one instance say only one device was here, but the person has been somewhere else. The judge said, yes, they can't say that, but in this case, highlight, in this case, according to you, your client was in Valeria. So what is the problem? Well, Ramosepele said, you see, sometimes, and I have to join Mr. Mngomezulu's sentiments, I'm not that kind of a person, my lord. But my lord has a tendency to be impatient. The judge hammered on Ramosepele, saying that his client was in Valeria. He didn't want to let that go. I'm like, it doesn't matter how many times you repeat that accused number 2 was at Valeria police station. It will not make it a fact that you want it to be, judge. You have placed the device inside Ntanzi's cell.
That is where the problem is.
Like, even the whole thing of hammering on it, like he was
so that it becomes, it's on the record.
And
you are putting it.
Was now Ramosepele supposed to lie to say that accused number 2 was not inside his cell? What exactly did he want from Ramosepele?
I don't know.
So the evidence, he said, Ramosepele, we need to hear, and that has been the trend. We need to hear it from the client, but I think he meant to say the witness instead of the court. Because the court is validating that answer for the witness. And
it does that.
And the judge said, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm just quoting the evidence as you have omitted.
What was omitted?
He's trying now to accuse Ramosepele of saying he left out the part that accused number 2 was inside his cell. Like that places the device inside the cell. You are the one, judge, who's placing the device inside the cell. Ramosepele will not be doing that. And Ramosepele said, we are part of this evidence. We read the same evidence. We hear the same evidence that the Lordship is hearing. I'd like to take this moment and say well done to Ramosepele for addressing this and putting it on record.
Oh, it's a job.
It's about time.
It's a job well done.
It's about time. And this is also where I felt that he needed to say the police officers were there also. You are putting accused number 2 inside the cell with the device, and you are completely omitting the fact that Mogani, who arrested accused number 2, who was there arresting accused number 2, is now being taken away from the handling of the device.
No OB entries.
No OB entries have
No OB
proven.
entries that prove that the phone was found in the cell. Nothing. You just believe when a judge.
So after the long adjournment, Ramosepele...
Common sense. In fact.
Common sense. It
you
works
take people
whenever
to jail
it suits.
through common sense. Is that what you use to take people to jail?
And his common sense is not so common, in my opinion. It's my opinion. Then after the long adjournment, Ramosepele said accused number 2 updated his number in Rustenburg to 0737761556, and he even went to Standard Bank, is what I heard, to change the number, and that's the number he's been using ever since. Ho said that he was given the cell phone number, never the SIM card or the device. Didn't he say he received a phone in a sealed bag? Can't what's going on with Ho's, guys?
I think I heard that too.
He said he received the phone and the device in a sealed bag, and they had to argue whether the bag was sealed or not sealed. And now he's saying he never... What is going on with Ho's? He also confirmed that he can go to the service provider with just the number, and it can be subpoenaed without the SIM card or the device. And this is where now Ramosepele was hammering on the fact that that information is presented in a PDF. And he asked Host if it can be edited. And Host said now it can. Back in the day it couldn't, but now it can. So Ramosepele literally here was going at that angle to say that there could have been editing that took place in that document that they are using. I was proud of this moment.
Yeah, it's moments to celebrate.
Though Ramosepele said you testified that the device was pattern locked, and Ho said yes. Accused number 2 will tell the court that pictures depicted on page 13, 18, and 21 that were created, modified, and accessed on the 4th of January 2021 were not done by him, as he did not have his phone at the time. And Ho said that he couldn't comment. He's just doing the data and dealing with the data that's before him. And Ramosepele said, same as the newspaper clippings, accused number 2 denies creating, modifying, and accessing those. Yeah, and Advocate Nisi says it was time now because Ramosepele was done. Advocate Nisi said that he could tell that Host was tired and suggested that his cross-examination be postponed to tomorrow. And Advocate Baloi said that Host will not be available tomorrow. They will try and get another witness to come tomorrow. Host's testimony is postponed to Monday. So we'll hear what happens in the morning tomorrow. I'm done, you guys. You can call in. The lines are now open. But before you do, please press the like button. I'm begging you.
Yeah, please press the like button. We are not even yet on 400.
Guys. Kantu kwenzakalani? I know this evidence is boring, but we try to make it very interesting over here, okay? We are giving you the highlights. We are giving you the main points. Please press the like button. Press it, okay, so that your fellow subscribers can have access to what you have access to. Okay, maybe the night riders might be asleep. Maybe. I forgive you guys. Maybe you guys are sleeping.
You know the damage that is done by the morning gang? Morning gang is always, even if we leave here at 300, they put us on 1,000 every day. Guys, please like the video.
I love the morning gang and I appreciate it. And the night riders too. Guys, if the live was not having any people, I mean, what would be the point?
Yes, so don't forget to like, guys.
So
like.
Press the like button. It really helps us a lot, hey?
Gumbo Nam is saying, vote wisely, guys.
Yes, please.
Bapumelaba Gebeng Be English upata is anisizwele.
Please. This is our future.
I see someone is Zansi. Hello.
Hi.
We are good, but can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Oh, okay, there's a cutting at some point, but I can hear you.
Okay.
All right. Yes.
You
Let's
were
hear what you
saying
have
you
to
were
say.
good. Okay, you're very clear. No. Firstly, Mr. Anand, please stop putting us against the morning gang. We are dedicated people, costing our
Yes.
sleeps to be here.
Yes. Yes, most definitely.
Please value those people are wide awake. Don't put us
Yes.
against people who are wide awake.
Okay, I apologize. You guys are awake because now you called in.
Yes. No, man. Personally, about today's case, as I said the other day, I was just waiting for this. It's been fireworks, and I'm happy that some of the things that, ideas that we bounce around here,
Yes.
Mngomezulu and especially Ramosepele could hammer on it. It's just that, as you say, Emily, that we wish that he could have a backbone, and I don't mind him saying, "Oh, that is not me." My brother, you should be a shark. This is a Shark Tank.
Yes.
You're not in church, trying to defend Jesus or who. You're trying to defend people amongst people. We know even Jesus was nailed on the cross according to the Bible.
Yes.
By his own people. So
Yes.
if we're in a court of law and you're gonna apologize every time for someone who knows how to get you,
Yes. I
if he
agree
knows you're
with you.
picked up, you will be the one who's respectful, and yet the point in your apology goes away. And that's the crux of it, because he had such good points. And if he just continued to hammer instead of saying changing, he should learn from Mngomezulu instead of subsiding the question. Okay, let me put it or phrase it in this way. It's still the same. It's still the same angle, but just rephrase it in a different way that it doesn't go away.
Yes.
Because now when it goes away, it's going to sound as you conceded to what the judge said or to what Boloyi objected to. I think it's those little things that he really needs to polish on, because at the end of the day, it might cost, because you put it on the record, but yet you then conceded to the objection.
Yeah.
And that also goes on the record.
Yes.
When you concede to these things, it's almost like you didn't believe that your question was correct.
Yes.
So which means anything else that the judge concludes will be the truth, because, if I'm having a conversation with you, whatever is last placed, that is what it's going to be on paper. That's what the court will leave with and lead with. And you must stop doing that. But I also have to really commend Mr. Mngomezulu for defending the clients. And it's now only for these guys to come and polish up.
Yes.
They don't need to go around everywhere and trying to find facts, whatever. They should just polish up on the many mistakes. And I think Gouws and the point that Mngomezulu said, that Baloyi shot himself in the foot, to that Zulu expression.
Yes.
And that's that own goal. And the own goal was for them to bring back this. That's why the defense, let them bring it back and do whatever. They didn't argue with it. And remember what Khumalo said. Khumalo said, this is going to be, I think he said, I'm paraphrasing, this is going to be good for my client. And then the judge laughed, saying, was shocked and laughed in a weird way that you think that this is going to be good for your client. Check. It's been good for number 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
Because let's go back to this whole case where Tanzi has said many a times, I've been taken here, here, and here, stating to those things. They were vehemently denied. There was a bridge, there was a small walking bridge. They did not stand. Those things were denied, that they were tubed. But yet the same people still are conceding that we were tortured to write these things, because it's all about those two guys. Because they're the only ones who allegedly wrote statements.
Yes.
So if you get them off the hook, the DNA got them off the hook. There's no fingerprints. The gun got them off the hook. Now the cell phone records is getting them off the hook. Even the AVRs, whatever they are, that also got them off the hook. So who was in the house? Because people, you had a linkage of bringing people, this one knows that one. This, I think normally when they do cases, they try to map who knows who. And the person who knows all of these people is not even in the court, the dog.
Yes.
Besides number 3, but the person who knows all of, even number 2, because he's related to the 4.
Yes.
And acquainted to number 2.
Yes.
And that's what we are sitting with, is that clear evidence is putting these people away from the scene by science, by logic. I don't know what other evidence that the judge wants us now to come and put things off by law of saying that the cell phone and the person can be separated. But when the same is placed for Nanzi, it can't be. And I think I'm very happy with watching today. I don't know if, yesterday, but I don't know if today is going to be boring. I don't know, because Baloy is not even sure if he's going to get anyone to come, because at this point, I don't think he wants anyone to come.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my 2 cents, guys. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
And Mr. Anonymous, I'm wagging my finger like Ratha now. Don't make us fight with the morning gang. Have a wonderful evening. Love you guys.
Thank you.
And the snapping of the fingers.
Yes. I get that. I get the snapping of a finger. Right, let's hear here. The fact that Mngomezulu has an elephant brain, he writes notes in recollection after the proceedings. Oh, yeah. That is, there's a scripture. This is someone else. There's a scripture in the Bible that says God's ways mysterious. Senzo is an exposer. Now we see how the judges of 50 years experience was doing in his court. Now we see how Baloyi won cases. Sad thing is that they forget that nothing goes unpublished or unpunished in this world. Earth does not forget. Baloyi can see that this cooking is doomed and dead. Ratha is the one who is resuscitating it. I think they want to do this case behind doors and sentence this guy, but balashwa Satan wabo manje. It's a mess and they are losing control of it. These are people who are writing that, and yeah, someone was just asking if we were live today. Yes, I think I answered that. Yeah, guys, if you still have calls, keep them calls coming so that we all go to sleep. We all go to sleep. If you have something to say, say it.
Oh, yes.
Or forever hold your peace. Yeah, so let me just start the process of reading the names of the people who were here on the comment section. Nancy K. Moyo, our moderator, was here. Shanjiwe was here. Dipu was here. Sizum Gaga was here. Let me see. Tabiso M. Daung was here. Mpo Nosipo was here. Nolukanyo Ngao was here. Paul Manjani was here. Tanti was also here. Po Shandu was here. Brian was also here. Maipilo was also here. Gugu Bonambi was also here. Let me see. Zipo D was also here. This is our member. Let's see. Elizabeth was here. Let us see. Raul was here. Sfiso Sindani, our member, was also here. Mabo was also here. Muli was here.
Govinsami
Was here.
Abel
Bailey was here. Dumi was also here.
Ntati
has been mentioned. Gabby, thank you for renewing your membership. I saw you there and I noticed that Gabby has been a member here.
Thank you, Gabby.
Okay, I think we have mentioned Vuyo Wane was also here. MZ was also here. Siabulela Mzize was here. Right, Colin Vadival was also here. Mbuso Zibula was also here. Hi fam, I watched the case on the ENC, I think, or ANC channel. And I saw the comment why uNkulunkulu engaphumuza uRatha. This had me on stitches. Annie Maimela was here. Right, let's hear the caller here. Mzansi, hello.
Hello, how are you guys?
Good, sir.
Good, how are you?
Fine. As the judge continues to ratify us, as usual, the onslaught will never stop because what is holding him is bigger than us. You know, this guy, I don't want to call him a judge anymore. He doesn't warrant, his actions doesn't qualify or actually give me the zeal to call him a judge.
Yes.
First of all, he said it himself that he is a tavern dweller. Right? We know what happens in taverns. No, there's no sober person that can frequent the tavern, Now, he's actually nullifying this whole saying that we grew up knowing that says sober as a judge, sober as a judge.
Exactly.
In our case, everything has been perverted upside down, and it doesn't look like there is even shame. But I think he's scared. He's showing all the signs of a narcissist, showing a face of bravery and using all these intimidating tactics to actually, try and subdue the fear that he has inside him. He knows that he is actually washed. He knows that he's not doing his job the way he's supposed to be doing. He knows that his image is already at stake. You can see his desperation when the actual witness, this Mr. House, who's not so smart, he's not a good liar either. He's just a guy who agreed to come stand and be defended by this judge, middleman. I don't know what to call him. He's a middleman, he's a prosecutor, he's a witness. Now, when it comes to this House, that's when I get to see his fear. I think he knows that House is giving everything away. I think he's also aware that Balo is running out of cards to play now, and you can see that he rehearses these things. Sometimes he mentions what he meant to mention it later. He mentions it sooner. So does Baloyi. So everybody's just running helter-skelter, trying to defend. It doesn't suit very highly desperate re thiba le ka marao, re thiba le ka mafele, re thiba le ka mangwele, re thiba le ka dinko. So at the end of the day, this judge is desperate. Look at his sides. You know, it's almost like his facial expression when Holmes is actually talking there. He's trying to show or guide, or he's actually making noises. You can tell these noises are deliberate. It's like they've rehearsed somewhere where they're meeting with these people. They've rehearsed to say, when I snap my pen 3 times, if you change the statement, I'll support it. I've got the power. I'm the judge. I'm not just so sober, and everybody knows that I'm retired. That's the attitude. But he is a very scared man. God knows what is it that is setting fire underneath his feet. May God make him sleep well at night, tavern or no tavern, or may God offer him 4 bottles of whiskey every night so that he can at least sleep like a judge. A judge is supposed to sleep well. That guy doesn't sleep. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Let's continue. We had Veiws, Simango, Mhlangabezi Sly. That is Po Nosipo, mentioned you, Lola, and then the Bubu, I've mentioned you, Fezega, Ojela, I've mentioned, the judge Yatanda, Tambugela, Owenja.
But he played for Pimville United, not Orlando Pirates. He's lying. Really?
Eban. Pimville. Okay. Tikoloza SKK. We see you in Ntombi Mdladla.
That's by Veiws Ngwani, by the way. Hi, Veiws.
Okay. Hi, Veiws. Ikleva ya Rasta. See you. This is probably the best day of this case by far, where we saw the lawyers doing what we expect them to do. Now we have Nolukanyo. I think Nolukanyo have mentioned you. Just Tembelani, I've mentioned you. Zipondi, I've mentioned you. Right, I'm just going through everything. Oh, I saw Thokosi Slanga up there, and then we saw you, Dan Net, we saw you, Monet D, we saw you, Mamel Skunana, we saw you, our member, and Gift Nyati, regular Gift Nyati. Yeah, today defense defense. Okay, they made my day. I think the proceedings were so fascinating. The defense managed to put Baloyi and the judge on their place. Good combination between the defense these days. Yes, they seem to be working together a lot. Gift.
Not Elizabeth saying Mr. Tavern was with Ntanzi and Valeria. The judge saw that phone. Right? Right? He saw that one. He's convinced. He saw it.
And then we have Mami. Yes. Mami, DJ Oza, we see you. Big Paul Manjana, I've mentioned you. Yeah, if I didn't, then there's always another day. Teddy some tetra. We see. I just checked the interview that did with look, when I see the name, I'm just gonna believe, if I remember. Mzansi, hello.
Hi, Njani.
Sikhona njani?
Ngiyaphila to Emily.
Hi.
Hi, Emily. How are you?
Ngiyaphila njani?
Hi, nami ngiyaphila. I just want to say with you, everything I'm about to say is alleged.
All right.
Yes. But I don't think Mr. Vaseline saw this case going on for this long. Because, in my opinion, I feel like these guys were handpicked for this case. Because, as I feel like he thought it was going to be an open and shut case. In such a way, if you look at the people who are in that dock, it's people who can't necessarily afford lawyers. So we were supposed to be long done on the case, but now things are not playing out the way he thought they would. And the other thing that happened today with Ramosepele when he was asking about the cell phone and then the towers and then now. My question is, if the cell phone was in one of the drawers in one of the offices in that police station, was there going to be a different tower that picks up the phone, or was it still going to be the same tower now? So how do we know for sure that the cell phone was in this cell? Yeah, so no, Vaseline really played himself, and I'm glad that defense attorneys are now coming to place. Yeah, no, that was my submission.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Well, at the beginning, she said that she didn't think that Mr. Vaseline saw that this case was going to drag for this long. You can tell that the people that are in the dock were handpicked for this case. And he thought that maybe it was just going to be an open and shut case, because when you look at them, they don't look like they're people who could afford to pay for their own lawyers. So
yeah, right.
Hi, Millie and Mustano. Mustano, I don't know if you've peeked on the proceedings of Wednesday, day before yesterday, when Baloyi was talking about the cell phone of Bongani Ntanzi. And Baloyi said when there was that debate of the phone moving around, and Ramosepele was saying at some times the phone would indicate that it was at some other place and Ntanzi was on another place. And Baloyi said we must remember that it might be that sometimes maybe accused number 2 gave the phone to somebody else. That on its own is to create a doubt. And I think their law is straight that the state has to prove its case beyond reasonable doubt.
yes.
So it means on a criminal trial, the state shouldn't create any doubt, but it must prove its case. The defense is the one creating the doubt to the evidence that the state is bringing. Now, I thought that Ramosepele or Mngomezulu will hammer on that maybe of what the state is saying, because once the state says maybe, it means they are not sure. They now want to prosecute people on a doubt, because the minute Baloyi says maybe the phone was given to someone, I thought they will stood up and say, tell us, who is that someone? Did you make an investigation to get hold of that someone? Because once you say maybe the phone was given to someone, you now want to prosecute people on the basis of a doubt. And today, I love what Ramosepele did. Ramosepele, as a strategy of cross-examining and I think maybe most of us, we are not really following how Ramosepele is conducting his cross-examination. He might not be that bulldog, for lack of a better word, but trying to cross-examine a witness being polite, you will get more information. Like, at least Gouws agreed with Ramosepele that when the police arrest you, they need to search you. And they cannot move around with you not being searched. And Gouws also agreed with Ramosepele that the Excel format can be edited. So I think at least Ramosepele got something from Gouws there. And also indicating to Mr. 1928 that he is impatient with them.
Yes.
And he should have put it straight away, like Mngomezulu. They like to tell the judge straight that you are giving the witness, we can say, a scapegoat. You are giving them a door to exit whenever we try to corner them. It was a nice thing for Ramosepele what he did today, and at least we got something from Ramosepele. What he did to Gouws, I was impressed alone to see that at least, although he's trying to fight a battle that we all know that at the end of the day they're gonna lose, allegedly. Thank you guys, and good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Yes, I had that evidence of high flats. The high flats, where the cell phone towers were. Some were even saying that that's where Mokgane would be staying.
How?
Or in a sense, that's where they were alleging that where Mokgane is staying. That is the problem. So I see the Kamba would Tonga. I think you say you've been trying to call us. It does not go through. I don't know, because both sides we've been called on the call, on the cell phone number, and then on WhatsApp. I think I don't know what is going on. Bomo Entertainment. Did you notice the judge making the sign to the witness? I don't know. These judges.
People are attentive.
They are attentive, and the cameraman. We must clap for that man. Whoever he is.
The shady cameraman.
He zooms in at the right time when we need him to do that. He does zoom in. I think also. I mean, as a cameraman watching the judge doing what he's doing, you learn to know the type of a judge you are
shooting. Yes.
Yes. So they know what they're dealing with. Thank you very much, guys. On my side, so it's a bye.
Okay, bye, guys. It's a wrap until tomorrow. We'll see each other again later.